Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the greatest baseball show ever on deck. I'm joined with Big B, and I am the Sarge. Big B, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Lovely day here in Minnesota and ready to talk some baseball.
Awesome. Since we're on the Coast to Coast Network, we're going to go over a few topics last week, but that got postponed, kind of like a rain delay. Since we're on this new network, tell me about your team that you like.
Well, I like baseball in general, but I am a homer and I like the Minnesota team, the Twins. So got high hopes for them this year. I know they're starting off a little sluggish, but those bats are coming around. Buxton's player of the month, I think, for the first month. So hopefully he stays healthy and keeps producing.
Oh, awesome. Well, myself, I'm a Mariners fan. I'm a huge baseball guy. Like, I have like over 10,000 baseball cards stashed somewhere. I probably have more somewhere else boxed up, which I forgot about. But I am taking the Mariners, at least taking a wild card spot because they're second in the AL West right now. So I'm taking that. So other than that, there's something that's been bugging me, Big B.
All right, what's up?
It's been bugging me since April 25th. I wanted to talk about this. I was actually kind of vocal about it on our group chats. So it's about Madison Bumgarner. He went up and he pitched 7 scoreless innings. And on top of that, it was a no-hit. But since it was a double header, they only had 7 innings, and baseball didn't count that as a no-hitter. What's your feelings about that?
Well, first off, ain't a game an official game after 6 innings?
I believe so, but I read something back in the 90s. They switched it to be like a no-hitter has to be like at least 8 innings or 9 innings, something like that. It was a crazy.
It's unfair to them. To me, a no-hitter is a no-hitter. You don't give up a hit. It's a no-hitter. I mean, if it was a perfect game, would it be a different story? I mean, would they give it the perfect game? Because that's one of the rarest feats in baseball right now. So, to me, I'm counting it as a no-hitter. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely counting it as no-hitter in my books.
It's definitely a no-hitter in my book, definitely, because Rob Manfred doesn't know how to run baseball. I don't think he knows what baseball is in the first place. And, like, the thing that bugs me the most is, like, with these new rules, the pitchers are charged the run in the extra inning when that runner starts automatically on second base. They're not the ones that put them on the second base, but somehow they're charged with it. And now someone pitches 7 hitless innings, we're not giving him that. So I came up with something.
Yeah.
I felt so disbelief that he didn't get anything for that. So we got our good buddy Chris in the background. Chris, can you show what I got Madison Bumgarner?
Yes, I like it.
So I just want to tell you, Madison Bumgarner, if you are watching, congratulations for throwing that 7-inning no-hitter. This congratulation came from Rob Manfred. But we at Coast to Coast think it should be in the books. All right, so let's get down.
Well, it's in the Coast to Coast Network book, so that's all that matters.
That's true. That is definitely true. Definitely true. So let's go a little bit further. So let's talk about the DH.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future about the DH?
I hate to say it, but I think they are going to have the DH, if not next year, the year after. This is probably going to be last time we see pitchers hitting home runs. I saw something, I think it was the Braves. Their pitcher hit a grand slam today, so it's probably one of the last things we'll see from pitchers, unless you're Ohtani, that he can hit and pitch. But yeah, I'm not for it, but I'm not 100% against it. I prefer them to stay pitchers hitting in the NL and DH in the AL. But again, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. It'll probably grow on me after a while when we get to see some players' careers get extended a few years because of the DH. So I don't want it, but I'm not against it.
You know what? I like if baseball's going to do it, and I do believe that they're going to do it. I'm just going to miss with the pitchers raking, like Bartolo Colon. I remember when he hit the home run.
Oh yeah,
and he had like the slowest home run trot ever.
Yep.
And we're going to miss like any pitchers like Mike Hampton, who pitched for the Rockies, and he was a hitter.
Yeah. I mean, there was guys in the 80s, 90s. Doc Gooden, he was a good hitting pitcher. I mean, so there's people out there that can do it, players that can do it. So, if they could do it, why not let them hit? Like Ohtani does for the Angels. He'll pitch and hit, and when he's not pitching, he's hitting. So
that's true. And Madison Bumgarner is actually a pretty good, decent hitter for a pitcher. Yep. Even though his batting average is like his career batting average is like 0.148, but he still can hit that ball. I mean,
yep.
And what's crazy, also last week, when it was Sunday Night Baseball, it was San Diego versus the Dodgers, and the bases were loaded for the Dodgers at the bottom of the 11th, and the Dodgers put Clayton Kershaw into the batting box with 1 out.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was kind of cool to watch, but I didn't understand what the purpose of it was doing that, because the bases were loaded, play small ball. That's all I got to say. And Dodgers blew that game. They were winning 7-1, and San Diego came back and won it in extra innings. So there's that. So speaking of the DH, if DH was back in the 80s and 90s, who did you think could actually benefit from being a DH?
Oh God! If you're talking National League, I mean there's a lot of them. Darryl Strawberry, I know, came to the American League, but I think he could have stayed a Met and been a DH. Recently, Pujols, I think, could have stayed a Cardinal and been a DH. McGuire probably could have benefited from being a DH a little bit more. Barry Bonds, I know what our feelings are about him. Could have benefited being a DH longer. Maybe a guy like Mr. Met himself, Bobby Bonilla, could have been a DH for a while extra. I mean, there's a lot of them. Piazza, I mean, Tony Gwynn. I mean, there's a lot of guys that could have probably benefited from a DH in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And also, speaking of that, if the DH was in the National League, it will help more players to get more employment instead of sticking to one league than the other. Actually, a player from the Twins actually comes to my mind is Nelson Cruz. I mean, he can play a little bit in the field, but I don't think he's up to par. He's below average in my book playing in the field, but him hitting that ball at his age, it's nuts.
Oh yeah, I think he held out. I think he wanted to be with the Twins this year, but I think he kind of held out just in case that DH rule played a factor, because there's another half of the league that would have interest. I mean, the Dodgers probably would have went after him. The Mets would have went after him. The Braves, so there would have been a lot of teams after him. So once it came down, I think he signed like a couple days after that. They said no DH in the NL this year. So yeah, the Twins were in jeopardy of losing him. That would have been a big loss in the lineup if they would have lost him.
Yeah, and also Jim Thome also come to my mind, even though he played with the he played with the Phillies. I think his career could have been probably had a better career if the National League used the DH.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, Thome there. I mean, you got Larry Walker and Colorado that probably could have been extended a few more years. So yeah, the DH. I mean, it does have its benefits. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm on the fence on it. It ain't gonna hurt me either way. It might bug me a little bit, but they do it. They do it. If they don't, that's good. At least they can keep some kind of old school baseball around.
Yeah, that's true. But and also I think that it's a power play from MLB to get younger viewers because you're going to get more offense on the National League side with the DH. But at the same time, I'm thinking is like, but aren't you trying to speed up the game? But are you trying to speed up the game because if you have the DH there, the games are going to take longer because they're hitting. I mean, that part does not make sense to me whatsoever. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they keep saying they want to speed up the game, but yet, they want to move the mound back another foot or two. They want to add the DH. I mean, you move the mound back, so now the pitches are going to come at them a little slower, so the hitters are going to have more time to react. So yeah, they're like talking one thing and their actions are saying another. Kind of like something else we have watched between us and wrestling. They do one thing and they say one thing, they do another. So I don't know what Manfred's doing in baseball, but hopefully it brings them ratings. I mean, it's all driven by money, so hopefully the ratings come.
Hopefully, I think it will. I don't know. These rules this year have been kind of crazy, so that's all I'm going to say about that one. So a month has passed for the season so far. What's your take so far on this month of baseball?
Some shockers. Twins are playing so-so. The Yankees are towards the bottom. The AL East is kind of flip-flop from what we talked about. The NL East is kind of the same way too. So, and I feel sorry for Mr. Cy Young himself, DeGrom. The guy's pitching lights out, but can't get no run support. I mean, the guy's pitching like a 0.5 ERA or 0.3 something. So, if he got run support, the guy'd be undefeated right now. And he's got to be leading in Cy Young right now after the first month.
Definitely. My takes is actually the Royals because they've been pretty solid in that AL Central right there. Also, look at the A's. They started 0-6 and won 12 straight in a row. That has never been done before. And I just need to. And if everyone's watching the show today, just look at the banner. You can get some cool deals and cool shirts from coast to coast. Just follow those links right there. So I was talking about the A's, and guess what? We have a surprise visitor, J Mac himself. How are you doing, good sir?
I just got done watching the Atlanta game, so I'm doing all right.
Oh, good.
Did they lose?
How did that
go? No.
Oh.
They did not. And I heard you guys talking about the DH, and I'll tell you that I don't want the DH right now. Like, the Atlanta pitchers are raking this year. Like, they're able to hit. Aswar Inoa, who's been our best pitcher this year. Again, it's kind of crazy. You wouldn't have expected that coming in the year. He had a grand slam today. By the way, do you know the last Atlanta pitcher that hit a grand slam?
I want to say Greg Maddux.
No, actually, I saw the stat, but I can't think of his name right now.
It was Jaime Garcia in 2017, and he was traded to the Cardinals for Esquire.
Yeah, the guy that hit one today. Yep.
So it's kind of interesting. So, I mean, the guy's given up 6 runs this year in total for the whole year, and he has 6 RBIs. So he's been responsible for as many runs as he's given up. That's kind of crazy. Crazy stuff.
Alrighty. Yeah. So what's your thinks? Who do you think could benefit being a DH, J-Mac?
As far as any player in baseball?
We were talking like 80s and 90s. If the DH was back then, who would have benefited?
Okay, so like a player or a team, I guess is what I'm asking.
Players.
Players.
Probably a guy. I mean, obviously you're going to be NL because AL's always had it. Yeah. But in the NL, I would say probably a guy like Jeff Bagwell. His career probably would have lasted longer because he wouldn't have had to play defense. So probably a guy like Bagwell, maybe a guy like Larry Walker. Guys that could hit the ball, but wouldn't have had to play defense, wouldn't have to play outfield that whole time. So something like that. A guy like that, I think, would have benefited for sure.
Okay. What about Marcel Ozuna? Do you think he would benefit more being a DH than playing in the field?
If we're talking today's players, yeah, Marcel can hit. But he's made some good plays in left field. I mean, he's usually a defensive liability, but not this year. He's actually played really well. Atlanta, even though they're down, they're 13-16, but they do have the best defensive percentage in Major League Baseball. So they have been the best defensive team that there is. Made the fewest errors, so everyone was worried about that. Their biggest problem is injuries for sure. But I'd rather have it at the beginning of the year than the end of the year. And I heard you guys talking about surprises and teams and records and stuff. I believe it was it Lou Piniella or Tony La Russa once that said that they never looked at their team's record until June 1st.
Yeah.
Because June 1st, you were about 55 games into the season, and that would give you more of an idea of what your team was like. You never looked at your team record after April because that didn't really tell you what your team was yet.
Yeah, I can see with that, but
yeah, I can agree with that.
But I'm more surprised that the Royals are kind of leading the pack in the Central right now because I kind of have them as a wild card spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of surprising, but if you go back to all the Oakland A's days, smaller market teams have to rely on analytics more than obviously big players because they don't have the money for that. And so I think the Royals have done a good job with guys that can play together. And just they know the game, they can play the game the best. So
they got the young talent right now.
Yeah, I don't see it happening long term though, because I think as you get later into the season, you get more experienced guys, and when you're talking about having young pitchers, they do well at the beginning, but when you're playing those divisional opponents for the third and fourth and fifth time, and they've seen that same pitcher now 7, 8, 9 times, they kind of get a feel for him and they start hitting him a lot better. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, did you know about? There's a crazy stat I saw about Tony La Russa. So his first year of managing was 1979. There is no current player that is on active rosters right now that was born at that time.
Nelson Cruz either?
No. Even Albert Pujols was born in 1980.
Wow.
I think Cruz was 81 because he just turned 40.
Oh, I thought Cruz was a tad older. Okay. That I did not know. Good looking up there, Sarge.
Yeah, I
hello, Katie.
Oh,
you say go Yankees. I don't, Thanks for viewing, though.
She misspelled it. It should have been Go Spankies. That's what my kids call the Yankees. They call them the Spankies. And they call the Twins the Twinkies.
Oh, yeah. We call them the Twinkies, too, here. So
because they're fluffy. And you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. You don't.
Yeah. So J-Max, since you joined us, what team do you follow the most?
The Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
And that's not a recent thing. I mean, that's since the 90s, since the early 90s.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute here, Katie. Now you're saying go Red Sox? After
you can't
saying
be a
go
Red Sox
Yankees?
and a Yankees fan.
Yeah, come on.
That's unheard of.
That's like being a Braves fan and a Mets fan. That's just not allowed.
That's like Johnny Damon that was playing for the Red Sox with a big old beard, won the World Series. I'll never go to the Yankees, and look what happened a year later. He shaved his beard. It's like, hey, I'm with the Yankees.
Well, did Clemens also go to the Yankees too after a stint in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
We don't want to get on Clemens, though. We don't want to get on that side.
Yeah, and now Garrett Cole is part of that parade, But I forget, who was the Yankee player that had the awesome mustache? It was Stairs, or I can't remember his name.
Did Mattingly have a sweet one?
Matt Sweeney, or Mike Sweeney, I think it was. And Mario's mustache?
Yeah, but I think back in the day, though, Mattingly had a pretty decent mustache.
Yeah, I think back in the day it was Mattingly and Eckersley that kind of
Oh,
went
yep.
year and year whose mustache was better.
Eckersley had the nice handlebar one. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, did you guys ever play those any baseball video games?
Oh, constantly. I used to keep a scorebook of my games, so they lasted forever.
What was your favorite game, Big B?
Oh God, honestly, there's a lot of them. I mean, for me, like the old Nintendo, Bases Loaded was sweet. It's a game where I found one pitcher where I could throw 27 strikeouts and have a no hitter going. So that was, for me, I was unbeatable in that. But RBI Baseball was good. Sport Talk Baseball for the Sega was pretty nice. Nowadays, I mean, it's the show for sure. I mean, the show is by far the best baseball game ever made. I mean, you can play in the minors, you can do the tryouts, all that fun stuff. Control every team if you want. So, but I mean, there's a lot of baseball games. I mean, I enjoyed playing each and every one of them, from, like I said, Bases Loaded to Baseball Stars to Sport Talk Baseball to, Griffey had a game, I think it was. So yeah,
He had two, I believe. He had
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
I actually had one of them, and Katie Gleason commented again, and well, either those two teams beat the Seattle Whiners.
Oh,
They're the Seattle losers because we can't get into the playoffs since 2001. Okay.
oh, okay.
The only team in baseball to never make the World Series.
Oh, we got shot
Ooh.
right there, so I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, that is something.
It's sad because we had a chance to beat the Browns to make it to the playoffs, and we didn't. So, J-Mac, did you ever
Yeah.
play those baseball sport games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Which one?
baseball was the funnest ones to play. I think of all the sports games, to be honest. Like, I think Madden eventually you can beat it at every level. And basketball, I'm not even into basketball anymore. I don't even care. Baseball's the funnest one. Like Big B said, because you can get you go from the minors to all of that. You can do all that in the show. But I'm pretty partial to RBI baseball.
Yeah,
I think
RBI,
that
that's a good
I think that was the best. I could sit on here and tell you that High Heat for the Sega Dreamcast was like the best game of all time, but we all know that the Dreamcast was the worst system of all time. So
You're probably the only one to own one.
Probably pretty close. Yeah.
No, I have one.
So yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, RBI baseball started it all for me for sure, and then the show, the show's the greatest game of all time, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember one time I created a guy, and I never made it out of the minors. I played in the minors for 12 years or something as a third baseman, and I played for the Corpus Christi Hooks for 8 of those years or something. Yeah, it was crazy. But those are the kind of stories you get from the show. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I started out playing Super Bases Loaded on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yep.
Because when you hit, it goes, it has that sound effect going.
Right.
Then I was actually at my cousin's house, and they had probably my favorite baseball game there. It was MLB Slugfest.
Oh okay. Yep.
It's like if you hit the batter will be charging you. You guys actually have to fight, which I loved it a lot. And you're punching. It was like NFL Blitz. That's what I could. That's all I have. That's what it was like on that one. Then there was the couple of Griffey games I played. There's one where if you don't play for 2 minutes, no actions whatsoever, the ump will turn around and knock on the screen and says, "Come on, get it going."
Oh really?
Yeah, he turns back and in his position that he does. But MLB The Show kind of is probably the game that's out there right now. MLB Show 21 is out there right now. Who is New Orleans? I was the New Orleans Cajun or something with that for 2 years. They're with the Miami Marlins. So
Okay.
yeah, the Marlins won another World Series, by the way. With that.
Well,
So-
we know that's the other way Seattle's winning one.
Ooh. Ooh,
Hey, I won 2 for them. Okay,
I won't do this.
I got the stats to prove it. So, but no, the Mariners will make it to the playoffs this year. That's my hot take of this year. So, speaking of video game, we're gonna move to let's move to the next topic. It's the Cleveland Indians. This is the last year that they're using the team name Indians on that one. So, I think we should create a name for Cleveland. What do you guys think a good Cleveland Indians baseball new team should be called? Let's not do what Washington football team did or whatever.
Yeah. God, nothing's jumping out at me. I mean, kind of wish they keep the Indians name, but it's not going to happen. I don't. It's been the Indians forever. Cleveland Rock Stars, maybe. I mean, I know they got a couple Hall of Fames there, so maybe rock and roll, rock. So Cleveland Rock Stars, maybe.
Or the Cleveland Rockers.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is over there.
Yep.
But they were a team. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had a team before they were the Cleveland Indians, and I cannot remember what that team name was off the top of my head. Do you know anything about that?
Cleveland Spiders. That's who they were. That's what I just Googled. Because J-Mac probably would have got that off the top of his head, being that he knows everything there is to know about sports and meaningless trivia stuff like that. But the Cleveland Spiders, I think they were like one of the worst teams though too. I think they had like the worst record.
They were from 1898 to 1902.
Yep, something like that. Yeah,
and like the worst 4-game span worst 4-season span of all time.
Oh.
The Cleveland Spiders. So they shouldn't go back to the Spiders name, that's for sure.
What about bringing back the Expos name? Go on, Cleveland Expos.
I mean, it's a thought, but
I
that's
can't,
what it is.
I can't agree with that one. You have to keep it with the Montreal right there.
But
what about?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been fun, but I gotta go. I got some stuff to do, so.
All right.
Been nice. I'll stop in on another show if I can.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for dropping by. So I got a name.
All right.
Let's give you the Cleveland Bootleggers, or the Cleveland Bootleggers.
Leggers?
Yeah, the Bootleggers. During the time. I mean, like it's during like the Prohibition. You can have those wooden barrels as a team logo.
Yeah.
So they're like dripping some ooze or some beverages out of that. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah. I like it too, but again, not to get too political or go into political, somebody will be offended, no matter what they call it. I mean,
how can you be offended with beer? Come on.
You're right. I mean, how could they, maybe name them the Isotopes after the Simpsons. I mean,
well, there's already a team in New Mexico named that.
Oh, okay.
They're a minor league team.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm old school. Kind of wish they'd just leave it alone, but they're not going to, and we'll see where they go.
That is true. That is true.
Has there been any links or any indication of what team names are thinking of? Have you seen any or no?
One name actually kind of came out. It's called the Cleveland Naps.
Okay.
I guess before 1915, the Indians were originally the Cleveland Naps. The name it honored their star second baseman Napoleon Knapp Lajoie. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's like Lajoie, but the first name is Napoleon, so I think he came up short during his career with that.
Okay.
Then, yeah, So that's one thing that they're really thinking about, maybe actually changing that name too. But I don't like it. So
no, and then you're gonna kill, make the I should say kill, but make the Major League movies more iconic now if they do change the name. I mean, they're already great movies as it is, so now you're gonna make the Indians even more iconic.
Okay, here's a quick trivia about the Major League movies. How many Major League Baseball movies were made? The franchise Major League. Oh, yes. What was the third one called?
Back to the Minors with the Twins and the Buzz.
Yes. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Honestly, I like all three, but I think Back to the Minors was the second best one, I think.
Okay. So we got some finals that happened in baseball just now.
Okay.
If you're watching the show, we just had the first three finals that happened, or the first two games that were finalized. We have the Braves in the Nationals, with the Braves going on top, 6-1, and Yana hits a slam, hits a grand slam. So there you go with that one. Then we have the Marlins over the Diamondbacks, with Aguilar doing a 6-run eighth as the Marlins beat the Diamondbacks. And, of course, as you can see, the Dodgers. I'll get to that game shortly. The Giants went over the Rockies 12-4. Belt slammed a 10-run first, lifts the Giants over the Rockies in opener. But the Dodgers and the Cubs. So this game was a doubleheader. So I just want to say hi back to you, Ashley Gleason.
Yes, hi, Ashley.
So welcome to the show. Keep the comments coming and be interactive. Let's go. So the Dodgers, they lost to the Cubs. They're doing a 2 games or a doubleheader, so they're playing 7 innings. And Kershaw had the worst career start ever. He allowed, I believe, 39 pitches it was in 4 hits.
Yeah, it was an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Yeah, 39 pitches and 26 of them were strikes.
That was like almost like his season opener when he started. I mean, he fell on that one also.
Yeah, he's having trouble with the teams that aren't supposed to do so hot this year.
I know, and the Cubs, come on. And that's a shot at Landon.
Yeah.
So I have to agree with you, Ashley, on one. That is definitely not good. So, hey, you know what the Dodgers need to do? They need to trade Kershaw. Because here's the thing. Like, they're getting rid of the DH, and Kershaw likes to hit. So let's trade him to the Mariners. All right?
Really? You take him?
Yeah, definitely. Have you seen the Mariners pitching? Come on.
Yeah, bring back Randy Johnson and I can't think the other stud they had recently.
James Paxton?
Yeah, Paxton, and then Rodriguez or whatever. So
they got Marco Gonzalez, who's like, he was called a boring pitcher because he can't because he doesn't have the high heat, which I agree. It's boring. I have to agree with that. But do you know who else was like that? Jamie Moyer.
Yeah, Moyer was like that.
I mean, he was stirrup socks and everything.
Yeah. And, just looking at the scores, I see my Twins are top of the 9th. Rangers tied it 3-3. It looks like we're going to get killed by another former Twin in Gibson. He's gone 8 innings so far. So if this one goes extra innings, I don't like the Twins in it because they seem to not be able to win extra inning games. So
exactly. So Ashley Gleason actually posted a comment also saying it's all about coaching. What's your thoughts on that, Big B?
It is coaching. I mean, again, they're all doing the analytics. So, like I said before, if I'm looking at a sheet of paper with all the analytics and odds and all that stuff, Sarge, you're looking at the same paper on your team. So you're already, if I do this, you're going to do that. So, they need to kind of get away from it and go back to some old school baseball where, which they got away from a little bit of small ball bunt here, hit and run here, the analytics, I mean, two people are looking at the same stats. So why, I don't know why they think it would be any different. So we'll see.
See, if it comes down to coaching, then so here we go. With the extended innings that happen, we got the runner that goes to second base automatically.
Yeah, which is
but they're not playing small ball. I mean, bunted to get the runner over. Then you got two more chances, or at least one more chance to get that runner back to home. I mean, you can do a suicide squeeze.
Just think how many teams back in the 80s and early 90s would have got that runner on second, and then bunted them over, and then maybe tried to bunt again, or try to get it over to the left side of the infield, or the small ball part of the game has gone away. Actually, if you're still there, what teams do you root for?
We don't need to ask them that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ashley, we like to know what teams you root for because we have Katie Gleason. She confuses us because she was saying "Go Yankees, go Red Sox." Then we're confused about that one also. Are you on the same with that, Ashley? If you're there, I mean, come on, we're waiting. I mean, so
we like to know what our viewers watch, and
definitely. So with that being said, the Dodgers blew my mind last week because I talked about it a little bit. Boston all the way. Just because they're in first place, right? So the Dodgers were playing against the Padres, and I explained that the Dodgers were winning 7-1. It was like 2 Sundays ago. Then the Padres came all the way back, tied it 7-7, so went to extra innings. So it was the Dodgers' time to hit. They just need one run and they win because they were the home team. So Corey Seager was on second. He started off. Then there was a fielder's choice that happened. So he got to third. Then the Dodgers, they walked another batter to get the runner on first. Then they intentionally walked the other batter to make the bases loaded. On top of that, there was only one out, and it put Clayton Kershaw up to bat. This is my rant about coaching. I don't think that was good coaching.
I mean, unless your pitcher can hit, I mean, or lay down a nice bunt, but I don't think putting a pitcher into hit, I don't think is a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? She makes a good point about that, Ashley, about Boston. I don't know about Katie Gleason. She didn't say anything why she's so I don't know.
Okay, yeah. If you got ties there, I mean, go support them. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So
yeah, well, if you got ties, let's bring them to the show.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. So so all right, so off of my little rant about coaching. Sorry, Ashley, about that one. That just drives me nuts that they can't play small ball. They have to hit it and leaving a pitcher in to hit. I don't get it. So this show has been talking about the DH. That I think we're both in agreement that it's going to go away and it's going to grow on us. That's okay. We just had J-Mac saying that his pitchers are hitting better than the players. So there's that. So I'm going to give this one to you, Big B. Do you have a stat for me about a DH?
Yes, I do. My stat for today. What does Ricky Henderson and Tony Oliva have in common when it comes to the DH?
Ricky Henderson and Tony Oliva.
Yes.
So I got to say, somehow, Ricky Henderson was on base somehow. I'm going to say, did Ricky Henderson outrun him?
No, they actually both hit the first home run in their respective leagues as the DH. Tony Oliva did it for the American League, and Ricky Henderson, I believe, did it for the Padres in '97. So for the NL, so they both hold the first home run, I guess, for as the designated hitter rule plays out. So
okay. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is, to be the first, you'll always be remembered.
No, definitely in your first strikeout also. So in your
Yeah.
first swing and strikeout in slow pitch softball also. I will remember
Oh.
that from 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah.
So
At least it wasn't looking.
oh, I'd rather have it looking than swinging.
Oh, I don't know. A slow pitch softball, that'd be kind of tough on that one, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's talk about our Mount Rushmore of the designated hitter. And I'm going to let you go first on this one. Who do you have on your Mount Rushmore for the designated hitter?
3 of them came right to mind right away. Edgar Martinez, probably the king of the DH. David Ortiz, Jim Thome were my 3 that came to mind right away. And then I thought about just leaving 4th open to whoever because anybody could really play DH. And then as I was looking and doing my homework, I think Harold Baines is the next one that should be considered as the 4th DH in that group. So I got Baines, Thome, Ortiz, Martinez.
Wow, I'm actually surprised you didn't mention 2 names actually.
Okay.
So for me, I'm gonna have to put Harold Baines in there.
Okay.
David Ortiz, Frank Thomas, and Jim Thome.
Oh, you're not putting Martinez up there, your guy.
Oh yeah, I mean he's in there. He's in there.
Oh, okay.
He's in there.
Yeah, I was going to put Thomas up there, but I'm like, he was actually a pretty decent first baseman for a while until they moved him. Which 2 names were you talking about?
It was Thome and Thomas.
I put Thome in there.
You did?
Yeah, I got Thome, Ortiz, Martinez, and Baines.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Thomas I was considered Thomas, but I kind of thought of him more as a first baseman, for most of his career. I know he DH'd a lot towards the end there, and I'd put Cruz in there if he wasn't still playing. So, because I think he's the next iconic DH right now going. Him and Pujols.
Yeah. So I got a question about David Ortiz actually.
Yeah.
So he's coming up for the Hall of Fame. I think it's not. I don't think it's this year. I think it's next year. I think.
Okay.
But with that, do you think it's going to take as long for David Ortiz to get into the Hall of Fame as it did as Edgar Martinez?
No. Unless it all depends on his class. Yeah, he'll be up for it for next year. So I guess it would depend on the class because I know they don't want too many in there, but he should get a lot of votes. I think he should be within the first couple of years. I forgot how long did it take. Oh, excuse me, Martinez to get in.
He was on his last year to get in.
Oh yeah, he'll get in way before that. If he doesn't get in first year, he probably get in second or third year.
So why do you think he'll get it before Martinez did though? So what's your reasoning behind that?
Just probably the World Series. He's had some nice ninth inning home runs in his career to win games. He was part of the Boston teams that didn't win it for a while. So I think it's due to that. And like I said, it could be with the class that he's up against too. That might take some votes away. Because I know Rodriguez is coming up and probably Jeter's in that group somewhere. So
oh, Jeter's in for sure.
Oh yeah, Jeter. Yeah, Jeter. If Jeter's not a unanimous vote, then I don't know who could be coming up. I mean, so
I can't see him being I don't think it's going to be anonymous. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 that are going to say no.
Oh yeah, there's always 1 or 2, but so I mean, it'd be nice if Ortiz was going to wear a Twins cap to Cooper's, but they gave up on him too soon for another catcher that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, that's right. He did start his time in the Twins, and I forget what pitcher said like, "Watch out for this kid," because he was like Prince Fielder.
Yeah, they kept Matthew LeCroy over him because LeCroy could tear up the minor leagues, like nobody's business, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's going to get 300 at bats. He's going to tear up the major leagues," and didn't do nothing. So Ortiz left, and they kept Matthew LeCroy. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. So I got some trivia for you, actually.
Okay, let's hit it. I always do good at trivia.
All right. So, what position before being a DH? What position did Edgar Martinez play?
Third base, I think it was, wasn't it?
That is correct. All right. Here's another trivia question for you. Tony Martinez was traded to the Yankees from which team?
Really? There's another event venue nearby? I heard there's a big exciting crowd there too. All right, why not check it out? I will. We will.
I want to say Seattle.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Oh wow, you're on fire today.
Yeah, because wasn't he there with Griffey and Rodriguez? Wasn't he in that group of young stars coming up?
Yeah, and I can't believe Seattle got rid of him.
Yeah.
All right, so
hey, what's up, Michael?
Here's
How you
another
doing,
one,
bud?
Matt.
Okay, we will move back.
All right, so hey, Michael, comment. What is up?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
So, all right, got another trivia for you. We're gonna keep going on this one.
All right.
So, who has the most 4-hit games among active players?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Do what we gotta do.
Most active.
All right. What's that?
Go with the obvious answer, which probably ain't the right one. Mike Trout.
No, it's Miguel Cabrera with 47 games.
Gotcha.
All right, this one you should get. If not, you should be fired from the show. So, who is the only Twins player to collect 6 hits in a game? And yeah,
Ooh, that could be kind of tricky.
So that's what this is about. I'm not interested in
It's Puckett.
yeah. How many times did he do it then?
Ooh. I'll go 3 times.
Close. He did it twice.
Okay.
Once versus the Brewers in '87 when the Brewers was in the American League. Then back in '91 he did it with the Rangers.
Okay. The Brewer game, was it? I think that was his debut game, too. 'Cause
Could have been.
Yeah, because he went, I think 5 for 5, 6 for 6 against the Brewers his first day called up or something like that.
Well, I'm gonna age myself here. I wasn't born. I wasn't born yet for that one. So, who has the most 3-run homer games in Blue Jays history?
Ooh. Oh, Joe Carter.
No, Carlos Delgado.
Oh, shoot, forgot about him. He was a slugger back in his younger days.
Yeah, didn't he go to the Marlins or something?
Yeah, I think he went to the Marlins. Was part of that championship team, I believe.
Yeah, he had one of those crazy stance also, didn't we? Because remember that time we talked
Yeah.
about stance?
Yeah, he did have a crazy stance. Wicked swing. I think him and Val Guerrero had like 2 of the wicked swings power wise that I've ever seen.
Okay. All right, so I got no more trivia for you tonight. So after a month watching the
Yeah.
season, who are you picking for the World Series matchup?
Oh, after a month in, let's see. American League's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna come down. Right now I can see the Royals or Mariners vying for that spot. In the National League, I know they're down there right now. But I can see the Braves making a comeback and pulling it out. I know it's going to be tough to jump the Dodgers and the Padres, but my heart's telling me for some reason that the Braves are going to turn it around here and pull it out for the NL. So I'll go. If I month in, I'll say Royals and the Braves.
Royals and Braves.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hot take right there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually gonna stick with my original pick on the National League side with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually gonna have to change my pick on the AL side because I had the White Sox on there. And after seeing what Boston's doing, I can't really disagree with that one. So right now I'm gonna go.
Boston's lighting it up too.
Yeah, Dodgers and Boston. Boston. Did I say that right? Boston.
Yeah, Boston. The only thing that's kind of worried about the Dodgers right now, I mean, like you said earlier, Kershaw. If he could be lights out Kershaw, they probably got a good shot. If he's Kershaw that who knows is going to show up, they're in for a rude awakening, I think.
Well, yeah, they could be, but I was actually looking at their stat yesterday with their runs over and under.
Okay.
So that's runs scored minus runs allowed. You know what that number is?
Oh, what was it again?
Runs scored minus runs allowed. Their runs differential.
They're up. They're like 34 plus, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they're 34 plus. They're at 48 as of yesterday.
Okay.
And the next team that was close to them was at 35.
Oh, okay.
And
speaking of run differential. Oh, go ahead with your.
I was gonna say I was more shocked it was from Houston that was doing that.
Oh, really? Okay. What I was going to say, let me just pull it up here so I got the right numbers here. I think it's the NL East that the best run differential is the Marlins, and they're in last place. Yeah, they're at plus 10. Everybody else is minus 11, 13, 19, and 15. So, yeah, their run differential, that's just blowing away. Yeah. Giants have a plus 33 run differential. That's pretty good for them.
Yeah.
Oh.
I see more red than green.
Yeah. Yeah, Houston's down to 28 there. Tigers are minus 66 in the scoring differential. So, sorry for them.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like, because we have the Phillies who are. Speaking of the Phillies, how about that NL East? That's crazy.
Yeah. What about the game the other night? Phillies and Mets, I think it was, and the the Philly batter. I can't come up with his name. Hits a home run, gets called a home run. They review it, and it bounced off the top of the fencing and back into play. They had a chance to win it.
Yeah, and I guess it was the metal railing it hit, like where the stands are. But
when we first saw it live, it looked like it hit the chair. And I'm like, how are they going to overturn that? And then they showed a slower view of it, and it was like, oh my God, he hit the railing. So,
well, see, it went over the green fence. I'm like, oh, home run.
Yeah.
Then they said that metal railing is actually is the ball still alive. It's in play. I'm like, oh, so it has to get over the railing.
Yeah, because in Houston, don't they have a weird configuration on their field too? And they got like yellow tape around where they consider it a home run, but if it hits, I don't know.
Oh, like it hits the wall?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, so it to me, make it more universal on where the home run hits. I mean, it's up that high, because that railing is probably another 6 feet, or not 6 feet, about 6-8 inches back from the field of play. So to me, that's a home run.
Yeah. Well, didn't the Twins have something with that? Didn't they have like the plastic plexiglass above the
Yeah,
fence?
we at the old dome, right field had the baggie on there to cover up the football seats, and then early '80s to mid '90s they had the plexiglass. But that was right on top of the fence. So, but yeah, and then center field was like wide open, because there was nothing there. Most Twins games too, they could have took the plexiglass down because there wasn't many Twins fans there in that time span either.
All righty. So, all right. Well, looks like that time is ending. So, for everyone who commented and interacted with our show, thank you very much for the very first episode of On Deck. It is going to be a great baseball show. Just comment, just interact with us. If you put a question in, we will answer that question, even if it's really not baseball related. So, with that being said, we got a few ads that we need to run. So, catch us next week because Brenda or Big B actually got an idea in my head about baseball stadiums. So, yeah, with that being said, I am the Sarge with Big B. Hope you enjoy some of the ads, and we'll catch you next Tuesday. Sarge out.
Have a good one.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.